there's a lot of sleepers, a lot of guys who are unproven. That includes the top freshmen that they added in this class. Obviously, Kiyan Anthony being a high-end 4-star, being a high-end 4-star. You got 3 other freshmen there as well. Apologize yesterday. I just realized we left out Aaron Womack as one of the freshmen that Syracuse added this offseason. So, Neil, with all that being said, I already know what you're going to say, that Tyler Betsy is a big sleeper for you this year. Why Tyler Betsy from Cincinnati is a big sleeper for you in 2025-26?
Yeah, maybe he's not even a sleeper. I just feel like I think he can and will make a fairly big contribution to this team. And I don't know if he was like talked about as much like in the offseason by me and you or other members of the media or whatever. Because like you said, the focus seemed to be more on Nate George, who was a top 15 point guard out of the portal, Nate Kingz, who shot 44.6% from 3. And, you know, even like a William Kyle, just because, you know, they obviously needed center guys and this guy's super athletic and blah, blah, blah. But, and Betsy also, he was their last portal. Was he their last portal edition? I'm trying to go through the timeline.
He was one of the later ones.
He was one of the later ones. Let's leave it at that. And again, he didn't have a lot of production last year at Cincinnati, so maybe he's a sleeper. I don't know. I was covering him, you know, back in the day when Syracuse was recruiting him. I'm totally blanking on what prep school he went to, but he's from Connecticut. I'm going to look that up while we're talking. But again, a top 50 guy. He's like, what, 6'8", 6'9". I assume he could play the 3, the 4, and I guess small ball 5. I think if I remember correctly from prep school, he was a good 3-point shooter. He went to St. Thomas More, which is a well-known prep school in Connecticut, and Syracuse has recruited other guys from there, some that they've won out for, some that they haven't. But he, you know, again, top 50 recruit. And I just think that, you know, he can play multiple positions. He's athletic. He's a good defender, or at least I'm basing this off of like when I would write about him in high school. So like he's a year removed from high school, and he also didn't do much at Cincinnati, but he didn't get a lot of run. And I don't pretend to know the ins and outs of what their roster was all about last year. So, but I just feel like that was like I was like surprised when that came across. I don't remember who broke it, but obviously after it broke, we all wrote about it because, I mean, I knew he was in the portal and, you know, and I have people that I talked to, but I didn't know how much Syracuse was going after him, but I also knew of him because he was a Syracuse recruit back in the day. And when he was offered by Syracuse, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if Mike McAllister or someone else interviewed him and said, and Betsy said he wanted to visit, but that never happened. Obviously, he ended up in Cincinnati. But he just seems like that was like a really good late transfer portal window acquisition. And again, I don't know if he's going to start or be one of the first guys off the bench, but I really like his game. He's a lefty, right? And he's just pretty sure he's a lefty. If he's not a lefty, and I just said that, someone needs to crush me in the comment section. I'm pretty sure he's a lefty. I don't know how great he's going to be from deep or if he's going to shoot it, but I just feel like he's athletic. He fits the mold of this team, getting out in transition, helping out on the glass on both ends. I like his fit. You mentioned like getting one more high impact, highly ranked guy out of the portal. He was 4 stars out of the portal, but he didn't have a lot of production last year. So
that's the thing.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I get it. Nate George and Nate Kingz had more production. They're more credible, so to speak. But they're also older. Betsy's only been in college for 1 year, but I really like his game. And I think he's going to have a big role for this team. And didn't Donnie Freeman 2 days ago at the ACC tip-off event said he was an X factor or sleeper or whatever?
I was going to mention it. Donnie Freeman was asked about sleepers, and he was like, Tyler Betsy, like right off the bat. He's like, Tyler Betsy, someone that really nobody is talking about. And there's a reason why not a lot of people are talking about Tyler Betsy, because last year when he was at Cincinnati, he was a freshman. He played in 34 games, but he got it. He played about 11 minutes a night.
Right.
Averaged 3 points. I'm looking at his numbers right now. He averaged 3 points.
Right.
32% from 3-point range. Yeah. Was not a good free throw shooter.
Yeah.
He didn't really do all that much, but he also wasn't on the floor, and he was a freshman. But this is someone who was a former top 50 recruit out of high school. So you don't know. I mean, he's one of those wild cards this season.
That's a good way to put it.
He's someone who
wild card.
If you tell me at the end of the year that Tyler Betsy is one of the top performers for Syracuse basketball, I would say that's amazing because he must have taken a big step forward in development. If you say to me that he's someone that's buried on the depth chart and he's not really playing a whole lot, I would not be surprised with that either. That's why he's an X factor of this team in the literal sense of an X factor, where you don't know what you're going to get from Tyler Betsy this season. But hey, if Donnie Freeman is saying that he's going to have a big year, then I'll take Donnie's word for it, I guess. I mean, now I guess there's going to be a little bit more attention to Tyler Betsy. I think another guy that I'm definitely sleeping on, but there's a reason for it, is Luke Fennel. The guard that they got from Australia.
I knew you were going to say that.
The reason why I'm sleeping on him a lot, well, first of all, the staff, I remember over the summer, they were like, hey, if this guy was playing in America, he'd be rated much higher. Well, the scouts out there, they actually did do their jobs. They did rate him a low-end 4-star, high-end 3-star recruit. I'm not going to sit here and disrespect Luke Fennel, but I do know what his recruiting rankings are. But he could be a good player. Mm-hmm. I just don't know how many minutes he's going to get this year.
Yeah.
Think about the position he plays. You could put him at the 1, you can put him at the 2. Well, your 1 is Nate George. You're going to give him at least 30 minutes a night, at least. Mm-hmm. Probably closer to 35.
I would agree.
Your starting 2 is JJ Starling. I'm assuming you want him on the floor a lot. That's 30 to 35 minutes right there.
Agreed.
So then, well, what about the 3? Well, your 3 is Nate Kingz. And behind him, we just talked about Tyler Betsy. And also there's this kid, Kiyan Anthony.
Right.
As well, that plays the 2, but you never know if he might play the 3 as well. This
season. Probably play the 3, yeah.
And if you make him primarily a point guard, okay, sure, he's the backup to Nate George. Being the backup to Nate George, you're playing 5 to 10 minutes a night, if that. So with Luke Fennel, I don't really know if it's a talent thing. It's more so, is he going to get the opportunity this year to really thrive? Is he going to get the amount of minutes that it'll take for me to sit there and say, oh, yeah, he had a very impactful freshman year? Or is it just going to be one of those cases where we don't really hear much from Luke Fennel this year, but he takes a big step perhaps his sophomore season?
Yeah, that's fair. And you're right. He's 4 stars and like top 125. And, I always say take the recruiting rankings somewhat with a grain of salt, generally speaking, but even more so with a guy like Luke Fennel because he played in Australia. So, the rankings are not necessarily as consistent, but again, 4 stars. And he was playing against pros. That's, and I don't pretend to know was it the NBL, National Basketball League, NBL, like I think it was. Yeah. So, I'm not saying it's the NBA, and he played for.
Close. It's close.
Yeah. And he played
One
for.
letter.
And he played for, because I wrote about it some. He played in the FIBA World Cup this summer because like Jordan Smith Jr. and so Syracuse recruits play there, and Brendan Strong was overseas at it. But so like he's got like good playing experience, so to speak. But I agree with you. Where are the minutes going to come from? And I think he's listed on 24/7 Sports as a combo guard. I definitely think he can play the 1 or the 2. I just don't know how much run he's going to get this year. But I'm just going to be so fascinated. Like, who's going to get more run, him or Kiyan Anthony? Like, is everyone assuming Kiyan Anthony is going to get like 25 plus minutes a game? Because
there's no way he's getting 25 minutes. At least
I don't think so either.
He's got no chance to play 25 minutes a night to start the year. Think about the guys that are ahead of him right now.
I agree.
By the end of the year, could Kiyan Anthony force his way onto the court and play 25 minutes a night? Absolutely. That is a possibility to happen. Sure. But if you're looking at the one freshman who's probably going to get significant playing time this season, it would be Sadiq White, if anything like that, because he gives this team probably the one thing that they really lack. Defense. You need him to play. So they're going to use him in many different fashions. Yeah, Kiyan Anthony can score. That's great for Kiyan Anthony. This team doesn't really seem to have much of a problem with scoring, at least on paper. There are plenty of guys on the team already that can score. So with Kiyan Anthony, first of all, the position he plays, he's probably ahead of Luke Fennel right now, but you never really know. That's all going to play itself out in practice and on the court in actual games. Sure. But with Kiyan Anthony's role, I don't see him playing 25 minutes a night. Right now, I don't see him playing 20 minutes a night. Is he going to take Nate King's spot right now? You need Nate Kingz on the floor. He's shooting 45% from 3. You need him. He's not going to play above JJ Starling right now. He's certainly not going to play point guard above Nate George, and he's too small to be a 4.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with everything. For me, it's like, how do I say this without being rude? there'll be a contingent of Syracuse fans out there that maybe are more casual fans, and I'm not, whatever, but they'll be like, why isn't Kiyan Anthony playing more? Autry, put Kiyan Anthony more. He's Melo's son. Well, do you really know what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Because it's Carmelo's freaking son. I get it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play that much either. But I also think that, like, I covered him a lot, for Loud House, when Syracuse was recruiting him and after he committed, like, he's top 30, top 35. Like, he deserves those rankings. He had a really good senior year at Lehigh. He was injured for part of the year, but he played in a couple All-American games. Like, he's a good player. He's not just in the top 35 because he's Melo's son.
Right.
Yeah, I don't, and I feel like, has he said in interviews that he's like 2 and done at Syracuse? Did he say that? I feel like he said that once.
He might have, but there's a reason why if he's saying that, I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong about it.
Don't quote me on it, but I feel like he said that in one interview.
If he said something along the lines of 2 and done, it's because I think he understands that he's not going to get the opportunity to be a 1 and done this year. Unless barring injury, right?
Well,
I mean,
injury,
knock on wood.
Yeah.
I mean, no want injuries or anything like that. But that's one way he can get on the floor a lot. The other way he can get on the floor a lot is by forcing himself on the floor, which is do something that this team needs. This team needs shooting.
Yeah.
If Kiyan Anthony is coming in for 10 minutes a game, but he's shooting really well from 3 when he's in, that's one way for his minutes to go up and to increase. Because we'll sit there, I will be on this podcast and we'll be streaming at Autry. Hey, you need to play this guy more because look what he's doing. He's shooting. Yeah. Your team lacks shooting. It's like how Sadiq White, you need his defense.
Right.
This team lacks defense when he's not on the floor. So.